Oh my goodness me. It begins right here, my friends. With connecting to the server. It's all good with my internet. We got bananas in chat from Hero Blender, Chiwi Pepper, Sharu Manaru, Endervoid Wolf, Rusty Stone 1, Everstrew. Okay, what's going on here? Come on. I mean, look. Clearly. Thank you. Thank you, computer game, for letting me log in. Look, this is the beginning of something that could be special. For I, my friends, have had an idea for the longest time. An idea which some people have actually played this game with me before. I don't know if I want to talk about like the ins and outs of it, because I know I'll get carried away. I have sort of, over the years, decided not to like reveal too much about my inspirations and what I'm up to, just because I get a little carried away, and then if they don't actually follow through, you know, I feel kind of bad. Like I want you to see end results. Right? Now this is probably going to happen because I've started it now. Okay, I've started it. There is a whole story to tell you about this game that we're going to create. By the way, we have a new Patreon signing up. Charles Doherty, thank you so much for signing up on Patreon. Just a reminder, peeps, I do have a Patreon if you wish to support me directly, and it gives you access to, let me see, exclusive merchandise. There are some little interesting things like figurines, posters, and a mousepad. That's the other one, and you get access to the equivalent of my Patreon server, which is called Let's Play Minecraft Together. Yeah, thank you for signing up, Charles. Lightly Lucid's here for 9 months. It's been a day without you, my friend. Glad to catch a stream. X, hope your day is going great. It really is. I've been in such a good place lately. Ever since I just sort of, like, admitted to myself, I guess. I don't know. It's something I've been battling with for a while. But, you know, now that I pulled the trigger on this idea that I'm not going to, like, hit the treadmill for Hermitcraft, it has just balanced things out for me so much. I now just approach it with this kind of, like, when I'm feeling it, what I want to do, and it balances with other stuff, like making other videos and music. Right, I've literally, like, I've made another video I wanted to make this morning, and yesterday I was playing music, and it was all possible because I'm not on this Hermitcraft treadmill. It really feels like things are balancing out, and now I'm not trying to just do the usual. Now I'm like, well, if I got all this time, I'm just going to do a mega project. So we're kicking that off today. This is the beginning of something potentially quite special. I believe in this game that we're going to build. So we'll see what happens. Nightshade Owl Live is here for 9 months, saying it feels like I haven't caught a stream in a really long time, but I guess the streak would say otherwise. Excited to hear about the project. Yeah, you've been here 5 months in a row, my dude. I mean, it might feel like a long time. Baby time's going slow for you. Dear Shemmy's here for 64 months. A whole stack. Thank you so much, dear. Appreciate all you do. So I'm in the middle of recording an episode. There is an amazing story about absolute derpage that needs to be talked about. And I'm logging in with my camera account so that what we're doing right now can become a time-lapse, because I have to place an insane amount of obsidian. Now, y'all love to call me a derp. Okay, I'm gonna give you a 1. Oh, a little hit of dopamine. Oh, wait. What's happening? What's happening, man? What the heck? Wait, that happened when I pressed the dirt button. Okay, let's press it again. What the heck? This game is playing tricks on me. Hang on. Like, what the heck just happened? I don't even know. Is there like... Oh, okay, it came back. What the heck? Okay. I think that was just reminding me of how unbelievably, colossally derpy this next bit was, okay? So, I needed a lot of obsidian. I calculated how much I needed in total. It was a lot. It was a lot. And I wanted to bite the bullet because I really wanted to do this project. And after setting up an obsidian farm, I realized that I needed to continuously AFK for about 75 days straight. Okay? That's not even considering that I can't AFK overnight because the pickaxe will break, right? Okay, this is the level of dirt, but I'm like, I'm going to persevere. I'm going to find a way. I'm going to do this no matter what. I'm going to get my hands on this obsidian. So after like a day of setting up this farm, encouraging other hermits to come and help me mine the obsidian, getting EULA on the server to help me mine as well, I start to think over the numbers. I'm sitting in the sauna and I'm like thinking through the game, and I'm adding up the size of this box that we're building in my head, and I'm like, I've done something wrong with the numbers. So derp number 1 was like, I've committed to this, and now I found out that I need just the most insane amount of obsidian. Derp number 2 is me realizing that actually I need way less, okay? Somewhere along the line, when doing my mathematics, I made this mistake, okay? I mistook stacks for shulker boxes somewhere along the way. So I went from needing 150 stacks of obsidian to 150 shulker boxes. When I realized this, I logged onto the server. I've got everything I need already. So I was like, I'll take it. I think I'm going to have like 10 spare shulker boxes of obsidian to give to other hermits. Now, in the project that we're doing today, I will need to place over 30,000 blocks for this game to be playable by the other hermits on the server. I think what I'm going to say is like, let's also create a backup of this part of the world. Oh, maybe I could do that with like a command block to like reset the game. I'll ask about that. But either way, I will make some form of copy, and potentially like maybe there's like an extra file in the world download, or maybe the command block stuff happens at the world download stage, right? I want to preserve this and possibly play it multiple times, because it's the kind of game where once it's played, it's going to be a nightmare to fix. So, oh yeah, I'm excited. And if it turns out to be a success and a lot of fun, there are ways in which I can quite easily continue to elaborate on the game, as it's got like an interesting set of mechanics that can be expounded on and, you know, used for variations on the theme and whatnot. So that's exciting. Also, 7 minutes into the stream, I think in about 3 minutes I need to start drinking my hot bevy. I will also point out that it is quite hot here and I am sticky and sweaty and disgusting, so may not be the best. That Christopher is here for 91 months. EULA in his house. EULA was helping me mine obsidian. You know? Feels quite fitting. Hope you're having a good day. How does it feel to be back in vanilla? I try to dash all the time and then remember, not in this world. I've been a bit gung-ho around mobs when I've been playing vanilla, and then reminding myself, but today it feels like this is a proper way to get back to vanilla, because it's just such a simple task that we're doing. We're building a ginormous obsidian platform today. And then we will build parts of the game. I think I'm going to have to explain it on stream at some point. Like, I'm going to have to find like a simplified way to explain what the game is, so when you see me building it, you'll like understand what's going on. I've also picked this location so that it is above... Oh yeah, I need to put down some torches in here. It's above the world at a height that means we can have mobs spawning up here. That's a part of the game. Oh, I just cannot wait to get going on this. It's funny because if I did this in creative mode, I could have just, you know, like everything done in like a day, easy. But, yeah. Whew! Sweat rag to the rescue, says Curls. I have not been that forward thinking. I have no sweat rag. It would have been smart to have brought one to the room. Badger Spanner's here for 56 months, saying, oh hi. Oh hi to you, Badger. Welcome to the stream. We're embarking on what might be one of my greatest Hermitcraft projects. I hope it will. It all depends on if the hermits enjoy this game. I have to place 30,000 blocks to find out. I just wanted to go for it. I just wanted to do this. Musewa, thank you ever so much for 10 months of support, my dude. Appreciate it. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Is it a multiplayer game? PvE. It's PvE, PvP. It's a 2-team game. But I don't want to say too much for now. I figured let's talk. You know, bit of a Q&A or whatever. Talk about some stuff while I just mindlessly place blocks. I got a feeling I'm gonna have this obsidian box like done in under an hour now that I've started placing it. I mean, I've got a long way to go still, but it's not that bad. It'll also get a little bit quicker when we do the vertical blocks. Badger says, I learned from Joe that putting your feet on an ice pack while you're streaming really helps to keep the heat down. Oh, that's an interesting one. I have a fan sort of pointed at my legs because if I point it at my upper body, it hits the microphone. That is curious though, that it would do that. Also, like, what's up with the rendering here? Oh, do you know what? I was about to say like I'm on vanilla, but we've got the schematic stuff, right? Because I don't use sodium anymore because of the optimizations to the vanilla engine, and so it does away with all of those like quirky rendering glitches with water and portals and stuff. Like you don't see any of those. Q&A, Xisuma had any dreams lately? I dream every night, and I pretty much remember them / wake up with them on my mind. Sometimes they are quite heavy. And you've reminded me of a heavy dream I had last night that was just crazy. Wow, that just totally shifted my brain into a different space. Is underneath it lit up? I'm building it above an ocean, so that doesn't have to be a concern. You can middle click to put the obsidian on your hotbar to put it in your hand. Yeah. Here I am always thinking about like mods. Mods can add functionality and make building easier, and I don't even use stuff like middle click, right? I forget all about it. Konzo Boom says, what did I miss? You missed all of these blocks over here. Dude, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing, well, I was about to say half an hour. Actually, it's been 10 minutes. It's going to be 20, 30, 40. I reckon an hour might actually be a little optimistic. Wait, how is your FPS so good without sodium then, says Plays? Well, with 1.20, I'm not sure that sodium even does anything anymore, so... You know, I have good FPS because I've got a beefy machine as well, but in 1.20, I don't know, sodium doesn't really seem to do anything anymore. You still need sodium for replay mod, I think. No, you don't. In fact, you don't need sodium to use replay mod. They have to release special patches to make them compatible. That's maybe why you've got that association. Costa Boom says, oh, I feel bad now. Yeah, you should feel bad because you missed the placing of the blocks, and that is just, oh, horrendous. Gosh. You'll never stop being able to think about this until you die. It'll be the last thought on your breath. That one stream, I missed all those obsidian blocks on your deathbed. I'm cursing you. Right now. No, I'm goofing, if it's not obvious. Stream is still silent, right? Says Rich Chips. Yep, we're having a silent stream today, my dude. No talking allowed. What kind of guitar did you use on Soulside Eclipse? Loved it. I don't know. I'll have to ask Enrique, who recorded the record. I didn't go too much into the technical details. I was just like, look, here's how I hear the music in my head. These are the sorts of guitar tones and sounds that like I hear these songs as, and I left it with him, and he knew exactly what to do. So yeah, that's again 2023 has been a crazy year for me. Like there's stuff that's been happening that I have talked about, stuff that's been happening that I haven't. It just feels like it's had a lot wrapped into it, and the summer's been good, and I have this like weird suspicion that I might be suffering from a little seasonal sickness. If I find like it tricky to deal with my moods in October and November and December, I'm gonna start to suspect that it might be something seasonal, because the thing that helped me a lot earlier in the year was just waking up and blasting bright light at my face, which might sound stupid, but I was listening to podcasts about you know, like optimizing your health and yada yada yada, and one of the things that comes up is like get sunlight in the morning, right? And if there's no sunlight because it's winter, I decided to get one of these like bright LED screens, and just as soon as I'm up, put it in the room with me. Maybe I'm doing stretches and stuff. Like they're way brighter than, you know, your normal lights above your head, and that seemed to like bring my mood up. It seemed to help. And now I'm slightly suspicious, having a really good summer, waking up to sunlight every morning, that like maybe that's the thing that affects me, and if it is, I need to like have a strategy for that, to like remind myself and to keep on top of my moods, because Otherwise, it's like you're going to have this part of the year where your moods go down, and that just seems kind of silly, right? Anyway, I'm going to sip some more of this drink. Q&A X, I'm debating building a PC for recording Minecrafting / video editing. I'm considering the ridiculous prices for GPUs. Would that be a good GPU combo for light shaders and recording software? I don't do shaders, so I'm not going to be the best to advise you on this. My recent experience of going overkill, I had this mindset of like, look, the prices are up and they're probably not coming down, especially after Nvidia is now, you know, switching lanes to AI. They're probably, I mean, the amount of money and optimism around AI, if Nvidia like you know, ditched to some extent, I don't know quite what that means, like, you know, never made a graphics card again, I couldn't believe that. But if there was a feeling among gamers like Nvidia were ditching them and focusing their efforts elsewhere, I wouldn't be surprised in the slightest. I don't think these prices are going to come down, so for me it was like, I'm just going to get this now because I can see a future where they go up even higher. But the mistake that I made was not really like factoring in some really important stuff, which was that the 490 graphics card is for 4K gaming above 60 FPS. Here's the thing, my eyes don't really see much difference above 60 FPS, and I don't really see much difference above 1080p. And I'm playing on a 1080p monitor, and I really don't feel like I need to change. If I do in the future, it's great, I've got that power. This thing should last me a long time because I don't use these high resolutions, right? So that's something that you really got to consider. And I think in this day and age where people consume a lot of media on the go, on their phone, you know, there is YouTube television, or you know, YouTube app on the telly is rising. There's a lot more viewers in that demographic now. But you know, if you're hooking your stuff up to a 60 FPS 1080p monitor, you don't need to go overkill to that extent. So you need to do a lot of research and be informed, right? That's the key thing. And I didn't take that approach. I was probably in a bad mindset where I didn't want to like make decisions. I think I suffer a little bit from decision anxiety. I'm the sort of person where if you presented me with a lot of options, I would be happier if you just like said pick A or B, or just told me what to do. I think a lot of the time I just overthink. So, oh dang, we're getting near the end. Cool. My experience with talking to robots at my cell phone provider has not given me hope for AI, says Tilly the Hun. Well, here's the thing with AI, it's only going to get better. And what you've described is probably old automation. I don't know if you've, like one of the jobs that is absolutely on the line for being replaced by AI is those call centers, because the large language models have broken down this barrier of like a sort of like machine/computer interface with us that is language, the universal thing, the thing that makes it so much easier for all of us. Like I use ChatGPT. I'm trying to use it every day. I'm not quite there yet, but I was using it today, and it's just amazing to describe like the problems you're having to it in language, and getting answers of like mathematics and code, and you know, it understands language. Well, you know, understand might be the wrong word, but you know, it can interpret your language and give you usable results. And there is AI that's now working with voice synthesization, and I think you're going to see jobs like telemarketers just become a thing of the past. It's going to be AI. I think we're probably all going to end up with like AI assistants that we can talk to. That's something I'd like to do if I could just find a little more time to put my attention on that, is to try and integrate something like ChatGPT with voice recognition. I think that will be fantastic. To be able to just like cut out the keyboard and talk directly to it. Oh, right. I have to pause for a second because I am absolutely sweating. I need to go get a sweat. It is disgusting how much sweat is pouring off of me right now. I've got to make a change. I've got a button for this. I'll be right back, peeps. Won't be long. I am back. Let's see if we can survive this heat. Gosh. Like, ugh. Crazy. Emily W says, I have a weird distrust around all of this AI stuff. I can't put my finger on why. I feel like it's going to be used improperly. It's a new technology. All technologies, you know, they're all double-edged swords. They can be used for good or bad, you know. I think the reason there's some distrust and whatnot is because of the kind of atmosphere of this decade, the 20s. Like, there's a lot of turmoil in the world, and it hasn't been quite as prosperous as the previous decade. You know, going through rocky times. And I think it feeds into the way people, like, see the world a lot. Like, the language of the way that we talk about things and the general atmosphere will sort of colour our vision on things. Personally, for me, I am really optimistic about this AI stuff because I've been following it before it was mainstream. Like, I think I started becoming aware of it in like 2018, 19. I started listening to the AI podcast, which is now known as the Lex Fridman podcast. Like, I have been listening to the people talk about what's coming for like years, and it was always like this fascinating thing that might come one day, and then all of a sudden, like with ChatGPT, it really just kind of arrived. And now there's a bit of a race. That's what I'd be concerned about, you know. I think if you understand what's going on in the world of AI a lot closer, you can like focus your concerns into spaces and be like, look, here's probably where there's problem. I think one of the problems is that there's a bit of like an AI arms race going on, and it's driven by companies that have obviously shareholders to please and profit incentives. And it's kind of interesting to look at how each AI company is sort of adapting their strategies to find a market. You know, you have Facebook trying to capture the open source scene, for example, and then you listen to Zuckerberg talk about it, and you can kind of hear how, like, there's this alignment where now you find all the reasons to do your approach to AI this way, and it happens to align with what, you know, your company's going to do. You have Apple going the privacy route on a lot of things, technology-wise. They'll probably do that with AI as well. They'll be looking to build like privacy-oriented AI. Again, it's like, it's what aligns. They found that niche where there's all this competition. If you can stand apart, you know, you gain to get more eyeballs and grab more people. So yeah, like those are my concerns. Like it'll be the more capitalist, business-oriented strategies that influence the development of AI that concern me. But I'm optimistic because like the world is grappling with this. There's been other things in the past where, you know, people have like tried to blow the whistle on it or get people to pay attention. Like data security and passwords is one, you know, and people being spied on by the NSA. Like these things in the past, like they were just not, people just didn't pay attention to them as much. This time round, people are really like getting stuck in and grappling with it, and it does look like, you know, that comes with a lot of doom and gloom, but people are aware, and that's really important because, you know, there needs to be that kind of discourse and that interaction between the populace and the people that are developing this stuff, and it's taking place and it's happening, which is what gets me optimistic about it. We have Curls of Doom gifting a sub to the Puka. Thank you so much for gifting a sub, Curls, supporting our community. Puka the legend. Always a pleasure to have you with us. I did see a message from you. I was just deep in the waffles and I was like, I'm going to read that and then off I go waffling. The Puka says, AI is scary when it comes to an information call center. It can be confidentially wrong even when it has the right info. Let's see. So a call center will obviously manage people's data, and there are laws and legislations around how to handle people's data in a responsible way and whatnot. Yeah, it can. I get what you're saying. It can be confidently wrong. So the issue. Well, here's the thing, right? Sometimes I feel like it reminds me of the automation of cars. Sometimes I don't feel like as humans we fully grapple with our own inadequacies, and we tend to perhaps overplay or overstate our own abilities when comparing them to that on machines, because automatic driving, to me, if done right, will undoubtedly reduce the amount of vehicular homicide that takes place. And, you know, the arguments against it seem to kind of like stem down to this idea that the machine is going to make mistakes. But like, there's already human mistakes, there's already human error. So you're absolutely right, these chat models can hallucinate and get things wrong, they can get things wildly wrong. Humans are also capable of making mistakes and getting things wrong too, right? And it makes me turn towards thinking about things statistically, not only in terms of like raw cases of like wrong and right, but maybe even severity of wrong and right as well is a factor. Like, do we have that data? Probably not right now, but wouldn't that be a better way to think about it? Is like, well, what if it's wrong but not as often? And when it's wrong, it's not as harmful as humans. Because then if you extrapolate that to populations of, I don't know, you've got 100 call centers, right? And on average, you know, every year you get 10 incidences that are really bad for the people involved. Maybe with AI you only get 1, okay? Maybe you get more. I don't know. But like, it's the removal of that kind of weight on human ability, the mystical idea that we're right about a lot of stuff, and looking at it more analytically, that interests me. That Christopher says, I'm 100% convinced that in 50 years we will look back on the present and thought we were crazy to let people drive cars on their own. I am 100% on board with you with that one. Yep. Like, when we make that transition, it'll be that way. Because here's the thing. Like, there are unwritten contracts in our society, things we just agree with our behaviour. We all put up with. We all put up with the fact that driving cars kills a lot of people every year, you know? The statistics are out there. I don't want to just throw some random numbers, but I think it's like, you know, 20,000 people a year or whatever in America, like, die. Like, every year from road traffic. But this is, you know, we also realise there's benefits from having the interconnectivity of cars and the ability to move around and what that does for the economy and, you know, our well-being, etc. So it's always a trade-off, but automatic cars could make that number down to the hundreds, which would be insane. Then you'd look at it and go, oh my god, you know, like, what a huge improvement. X, when autonomous cars experience a child running into the street and your AI needs to take a decision, hit the child versus make a turn into a steep drop and likely kill the driver, what should the AI choose, says Hazaguda. That's a great question. Now, often when those questions get posed a lot of the time, it tends to be done in a way where it's like, my question knocks down the argument for the cars, right? I don't think that's what you tried to do there. That's something I'd like to put out there, is like, when we ask that question, that shouldn't mean like end of conversation, because a human has to make that decision too. And it might be that the car has more information about the situation. The thing that we get to do with autonomous vehicles is we actually get to decide, and that is like one of the toughest and trickiest questions for us to grapple with. It's the trolley problem, the question that no one wants to answer. Do you pick the old lady or the baby, right? You know, the train is on the tracks, it's heading towards a baby. If you switch the tracks, it'll hit an old lady instead. And some of us might be daring enough, you know, we're obviously all compassionate about both of these lives, but if you had to get mathematical about it, you might say, you know, an old lady's had her years and this baby hasn't had a chance to live yet. But we can actually bake those answers into these autonomous vehicles, right? You know, we can program in that, let's say, environmental damage, i.e. hitting a building and breaking glass and causing a bunch of repairs that need to be done, is the option to be chosen over hitting a human being, right? And I think you can start in that world going into the much broader and easier questions, like, do you hit an inanimate object or do you hit a person, right? Hit the person, not as much damage to the car. Hit the inanimate object and the car is totaled. You program it to hit the inanimate object, right? And then as you build up those models, I think it maybe gets easier to incrementally approach towards those extreme edge cases. But But the other thing is like how often does that happen? Because if the trade-off was, you know, as drastic as some claim it could be, like, you know, getting the amount of vehicular incidences down from tens of thousands to just hundreds, you know, a huge reduction. The occasional, this is horrible to say, but, you know, the occasional incident that happens that looks awful, i.e., you know, the car hit a child instead of an old person or something, does that weigh up against all the other gains that you get? It's a very difficult question to answer. Very difficult to answer. Kenna Harif is here with the Prime. Thank you for using the Prime on me, my dude. Appreciate your support. We've got Burt Potato here for 31 months as well. Thanks for tuning in, peeps. Hope you're enjoying the waffles today. I didn't know what I was going to talk about because we've been doing a lot of Vault Hunters, which means we're talking about the game that we're playing. And, but it seems like maybe I've got a bunch of waffles in me today, you know? Some of it's stuff I've said over and over again, I'm sure. Not sure if you commented on this already, but do you have anything to say about Minecraft's new EULA, says Theostis. I have commented on it, and since I last did, I think I've looked into it a little bit further. Essentially, here's the way I see it. Like, okay, we get a new EULA, we see a bunch of stuff in it, and we react to it. But I don't think people are going out and looking at the previous EULA and exactly chalking up what the differences between them are, because some things have been stated about the EULA that actually hasn't changed since the last one. This is like quite a typical and common thing to happen when people like go on their knee-jerk reaction. It takes a fair bit of work to like look into all that legality and properly understand it and whatnot. And like almost immediately as soon as it came out, the doom and gloom take on its changes comes right out, and there is a clear incentive on YouTube to sort of bait the outrage and get the clicks from, you know, this next thing that Mojang just did is absolutely awful. It's far more difficult to find people with a level-headed approach to it. But fortunately, I did manage to find some level-headed approaches to what the EULA changes are. It does seem like there's, you know, a couple of edge cases that seem like maybe this isn't so great. Some server owners are now going to have to adapt and change to comply with the EULA, but that's, you know, essentially their legal right to enforce the EULA however they want to. Then there's this other stuff that, like, is clearly not aimed at the people the doom and gloomers are saying it's aimed at, right? Like, how you use the Minecraft brand. They are tightening their control on how you can use the word Minecraft. It used to be quite loose and open. Now they're tightening it. Does that mean that's because they want to go after everyone who falls under those tightened restrictions, like me and my Minecraft stream that I'm doing right now on Twitch, or my Minecraft snapshot video that just came out? They now have the legal ability, perhaps, to come after me. Does it mean they do that? Does it make sense that Mojang's strategy is to further irritate the community by you know, going after people who are making Minecraft videos, which naturally promotes the game and is a huge part of its success? And when you think about it that way, it sounds almost moronic to think that that's who they're going to go after, right? They are going after people, I think, who are using Minecraft's name in bad faith, using it for scams, using it to rip people off, using it to trick people, etc. You know, selling NFTs and running scams is probably who they're going to go after, not the people that make Minecraft videos that support the community in the game, right? So I get these comments of like, oh, your video's got Minecraft in the title. Are you worried Mojang are going to come after you? And it's like, stop and think about it for a minute. It don't make any sense, right? It makes far more sense that they're giving themselves more control over the use of the name and the brand because they want to take out bad faith actors. You know? That's what I think about the EULA. So, and just to like wrap it up, it's, I'm going to read that document and I'm going to go, oh my god, this is making my head spin, all that legal talk and stuff, right? And I've tried to look into it and it's heavy reading. I'm not going to act like I know the ins and outs of it. I'm just trying to come at it from a common sense perspective, right? And to me, the common sense thing is just that, like, this isn't drastic doom and gloom. Mojang hates their community like these clickbaiting YouTubers are doing. And I started out being quite soft with my language towards these people doing this, but like as time goes by, there's this bad atmosphere building up in the community, and Mojang have put their foot in it many times and have not communicated things greatly. They didn't communicate this EULA update very well. They sort of snuck it in quietly after a snapshot dropped with no sort of accompanying, hey, look at all this legal jargon, let us tell you what our intentions are, you know? Let us tell you that we're tightening our controls on the Minecraft name, not because we, you know, hate content creators, but because there's been these scams and we want to crack down on them. Like, that communication is super important. They haven't been doing that. But that doesn't give an excuse for people to use the bad atmosphere as bait to get views and whatnot. And those videos keep coming across my recommendations on YouTube, and it's like frustrating me because then I feel like I see it in my comments where, you know, each snapshot people are finding things to be upset about. And there are legitimate things to be upset about, and then we don't need to add any nonsense on top of that, right? No nonsense on top of it. According to Google, 42,000 people died in America due to car accidents in 2021. Dang! See, it was a high number. I thought 20,000 was about right. It's double that. Goodness me. Mumbo just recently complained that someone prodded him about streamlining video production with it. Another among creators. With AI, I've been using AI to help me with my video creation. I love it. Oh man. Whew. To me, AI is just a tool. You know, and like, well, AI is actually just way more than a tool, isn't it? But currently I'm using it as a tool. And like, it's the inevitable change, you know, the genie that's out of the bottle that you can't put back in. I think the world has to embrace this and work with it. If you work with it, you know, we can steer it to a greater conclusion than if we waste our energy like trying to put the genie back in the bottle, so to speak. Mumbo said that the AI was going to be like a replacement for him when he was on vacation. I have a video that's coming out that has some AI voice of mine in like different languages. I'm super interested to see like how it goes down and whatnot. I don't know how this AI is going to replace him, but like the tech is going to get better. It doesn't feel like the AI is at a spot where it will just generate a mumbo jumbo video based off of all his previous ones, but like it'll get there one day. This stuff's only getting better and better, and at a crazy pace too. Mumbo was talking about using an AI voice model combined with an AI complementary generated to completely remove any input from him. Ah, right, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's up to him if he wants to do that with his content. I don't think I'd do that with my content, but I love this idea of being able to reach more people through having the audio translated in my own voice. Like, I can't speak other languages, but if it can be synthesized in another language and then reach more people, I think that's fantastic. I reckon that at some point it will probably be an automatic thing that you'll have YouTube videos that you can just on the fly translate to your language. I don't know how far away that is, but you know, the transcripts, the automatic translation of audio to text is pretty good, and then you've just got to go translate the text and then generate the audio. Curl says, hearing you speak German is going to be the weirdest experience I have in a long time, not gonna lie. It cracked me up so hard when I heard my own voice talking in German. Just like absolutely rattling off a bunch of like German sounding stuff, and I'm like, even though I wrote the script, it's like technically I know what's being said, but I felt like I didn't have a clue. I was just like, what is going on here? This is the future. Mumbo said the complete opposite and stated his distaste for it on both Twitter and Instagram. It sounds like he was like, I don't know, reached out to in a pretty like I don't know, maybe insulting way. Like some companies like, hey, our AI, just use it and it will make your videos for you. Like there's ways in which like companies can reach out to you that just doesn't like create a great impression. It depends on like what your entry into this stuff is. I think maybe if Mumbo had seen the sort of tools that I've been seeing about translating your voice and stuff, something like that might be more appealing, right? But yeah, I think I would react a similar way if I got an email saying, use our tool, you don't have to, like, go on holiday and this AI thing will pump out videos for you. I'll be like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Okay, Mumbo's message. I just got an email about replacing myself with AI text-to-speech bot trained on recordings to perfectly imitate me, so that I could streamline the production process and create more content faster and scale revenues. The creator landscape is about to get weird. Keep your eyes peeled for content creators dabbling in this and reject it. The beauty of YouTube is in the personality, humanity, and individually creativity of each creator. Boiling it down to a text-to-speech algorithm strips all of that. It's lazy, soulless, and depressing. And the audience, you have the power to prevent it by not engaging. Wow. I'd say that's a little short-sighted, but maybe the nature in which he was contacted has sort of set that up, because it sounds like, you know, streamlining the production process, create more content and faster revenue scales. It sort of sounds like saying like you're doing this to make money, right? And if you're a creative, like, and you're doing it for a job, like, it's a dream job. You're stoked that you can do this for money, but like your creativity is like a flame that you got to nurture and do right. So for me, I've actually already thought about this because I write scripts, right? I've been doing scripted videos. The reason that I started doing them is because I wanted to properly structure some of the thoughts and like really approach having a video from a different perspective, where it's like I've thought this through and I've coherently put my case together by writing instead of just like talking off the top of my head like I would normally do. And then recently I've seen that there's this other element I can strip out of me making these videos, which is me recording it with my own voice, because it takes like quite a bit of time once you like, it takes a long time to write a script, and then you have to go through and record it, and by the time you finish writing it and you're recording it, you have to deal with like stuttering over words, re-recording. Like it feels a little tedious and less fun. Recording on the fly like we're doing right now just feels like very, like, you know, easy, genuine, and fun. But like recording after you've like written this big script, it's never been like the most fun part of it. And I was kind of like jostling with the idea, because the technology that I was using, I experimented with it. It wasn't that great, but it was really close. It felt like if this model had a few more iterations, I could see myself doing that. And again, what this means to me is that there's more time for me now. If I cut out that hour of sitting down just reading and talking over and over again, like I could be writing the next script, or I could put another hour into the script that I had. I'm not gonna lie, it feels weird, but like this is where the technology is going, and I personally would choose probably to embrace it and see what happens. So yeah, I kind of have quite a different take on it, really. But maybe it depends on like what angle you're coming at it from. What I wouldn't want the AI to do is generate a script for me, because that would just feel like, well, what am I doing then, you know? But for me, in the process of like a script video going from start to end, like one of the tedious points is just recording it, because it's like I've already written this, I know it inside out, and it's not like you're adding too much to it at that point. Like maybe some of your inflections and whatnot are important, but yeah, that's just kind of my stance on that. I feel that it's about the mindset. One is to use AI to better your own work. One is to use AI just to automate money making. Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. I'm not trying to like use AI to make more money. I'm trying to use AI to make what I do, I guess, like get more out of my own time, essentially, is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get more out of my own time. Like, because I understand that tools help. And let's not forget that, like, although we're going through a dramatic shift, these tools have existed for a long time in different forms. There was this recent D&D thing where they banned the use of AI tools to create D&D art. And there was an interesting question that put up. It was like, well, what's your definition of AI tools then? Because all the artists use Photoshop and digital tools and whatnot to to create their art. And these things have algorithms, you know, like smoothing paintbrushes and stuff. These are all tools that took things that were tedious in the past and then made them easier using computers and using technology like algorithms, or what once might have been described as AI, but now like there's a new frontier that really fits that description, right? So this one artist who was doing a D&D cover or whatever it was got air quotes caught. I mean, that's not the right way to frame it, but someone else spotted that one of the characters had like 5 fingers instead of 4, and then it was like, have you been using AI tools? And they were like, yeah, you know, I use them all the time. And they explained that like they run their images through the AI to refine certain elements of it and stuff. This is the way it's going. It's just going to be like the new norm, is to be able to do stuff this way. And it's going to go to an extreme, I think. It'll get to a place where like an artist could be someone who just knows how to write really good prompts, which is crazy. MS Needs Guns. Thank you so much for the Prime. Appreciate it, my dude. Thank you for subscribing. 6 minutes ago, we're deep in the waffles. Hope you don't mind the wait. But thank you nonetheless. And you know, like when I say stuff like this, I know it's going to rile up people who see like art as a art form, you know, which it is, and the human ability to create art with a paintbrush and whatnot. Like this kind of like, it's going to be like a nostalgia that you can already see today. There are people who have like hobbies and activities. I'm trying to think of one, but like you see it every now and then where it's like they love doing it the slow way. So help me out here, chat. It's always good to think the opposite, right? So here's the opposite. Like, try and think of something you've seen someone's engaging with where it's clear they're like not taking advantage of modern technology and they're doing something the old school way. Like maybe someone who edits videos like it's the 90s or whatever. They got their VHS tape recorder and a little studio with all these old big machines and stuff and rewinding the tape. Like, this is the old way it was done, right? But they love it and they still do it. Knitting, there you go. That's a great example. That can be industrialized. Why are you knitting? Why are you doing pottery? We've got a machine for that. Woodworking, exactly. So like, there'll still be people that do stuff, air quotes, with their hands, you know, for the love of it, and that will come at different degrees. Maybe one day we look back at, you know, painting using a tablet and a digital pen as a nostalgic way of doing things, and then, you know, painting with paints on a canvas is just ancient. But it's how it's gonna end up looking, I think. Physically writing a book, says Bastoporus. Yeah. That's got me a that's got me on a an interesting little something to take this conversation to, maybe. Apparently Miley Cyrus said that Dolly Parton faxes her, she doesn't text. Yeah, using the old school tech, you know? That's what I'm getting at, right? Like, that's how it would be looked at. It's just like, you know, imagine in 50 years' time, your kid's like, what do you mean you used to paint? Like, don't you just tell the computer what you want to see? Another JT, thank you for 74 months, my dude. Greatly appreciated. Hope you're enjoying the stream. EvilX in his house again. Curl says, I think there is value to the way how you pronounce and highlight things with your voice to get your point across the audience. There is an energy you bring with your voice when you're passionate about something that AI won't be able to replicate. It might imitate the tone and rhythm of your voice, but not the personality that's conveyed with it. At the moment. At the moment. I'm adding that line. At the moment. Yeah, no, when I did some tests and experiments with this stuff, like hearing my voice come back, it was surprisingly good at picking up on certain, like, inflection points, but it felt a little generic as opposed to personal to the script. But again, like, it only gets better, right? It only gets better. Right. Now it's time for the next layer, I guess. This one is actually... Yeah, we placed this layer once, and then we placed the next one 3 times, I think, because then you're just building downwards, right? As you give it more data to learn from, it will pick these up, says Agent Mesa. Yeah, and I'd be able to, like, feed it a ton of VODs of mine, and then it will just, like, understand the words I like to use, the way I like to say them, and, you know, there's still that element of it's not you, which is absolutely true, But like, I just see it as a future that's coming, and it's going to be different. And I feel like I'd rather be a part of it and help shape it than try to fight it, because the genie just isn't going back in the bottle. You know, I don't see that happening. Riley965 is here for 8 months. Thank you so much. Another subscription coming through. Thank you so much for your support as always, peeps. It's appreciated. Hope you all entertained as we place obsidian blocks. Now, we're 50 minutes in. Okay, I reckon about 19 minutes and this thing will be done. Let's get some more Q&As in the chat. What is this? As for people asking, I'm not going to explain the game that I'm building until I'm ready. Okay? Because I'm going to have to explain it over and over again, because I plan on building like a fair bit of it on stream. So it's one of those things where it's like, not today, but soon. Hey X, what's your opinion on Elon Musk renaming Twitter after you? Oh, you know about that, do ya? Yeah, well, he told me he was keeping it a secret, but you know, I guess the bird is out. No, the bird's dead at this point. I think the renaming is probably not great, but time will tell. But it just from the get-go, it just doesn't seem right to replace such a recognizable brand that has its own verbiage. I mean, that's the social media dream, right? Like, what do you do on Facebook? You post. What do you do on Instagram? You post. Do you tick your tocks or talk your ticks? I don't know, but you tweet, and that tells, you know, I tweeted is, you're on Twitter, right? Like, it's such an iconic and such a golden thing to throw away for something that does kind of seem like one of the hardest, like, X. Like, it's literally a sort of hardwired term into things like mathematics for, like, the variable, the thing that could be anything. Like, it's such a bland and non-defined thing to call it. But here's the thing, like, if he ends up building his, you know, app for everything and succeeds with it, because, you know, it could be successful, he could turn things around, it might end up changing other language to suit it, and, you know, you have X just becomes, everyone knows what you're talking about. You're talking about Elon's social media stuff. I find it hard to see that happening, but it could be, and then you know, it won't sound so smart to dismiss it at this point, but generally I come down on the side of I just don't see it working. And the X is even written in a random, already existing font, making it 100% uncopyrightable from what I've heard, says Lucro. Yeah, possibly. Maybe that's part of the plan though, right? What's funny is that in a few years it'll still be around and some people may not know what Twitter was. Yeah, and then there's going to be that like layer of confusion of people will refer to it for Twitter for a long time, I think. I'm actually curious if Elon would be able to successfully trademark a single letter of the English alphabet. I would be highly doubtful that that would work, but you never know. Bannian says, bold of you to assume Elon Musk have any plans at all. The app of everything is something that he's been talking about for a long time. And the recent launch of his XAI is probably going to tie into this, as Twitter is supposedly like one of the biggest gold mines of AI teachable data. You know, all the tweets that people have sent over the years is just like an astonishing amount of like high quality data to some extent. High quality data that he, you know, buying it might have been a part of getting his hands on all of that. You know, that's part of the decision might have been, you know, for the whole X project. Judge JLo says he's just obsessed with the letter X. I think he's like, you could say he's obsessed, but he like wanted to build the X app since the days of PayPal. He tried to get it to be named as X.com a long time ago, I think. Let's switch to standing. I need to wipe some sweat off here, and I think I'm going to stand for a little bit. Just a little bit. I bet a lot of you have Twitter open in the background. The black icon with the white X looks like it's an adult site. I mean, I've got it open because I tweeted in order to let you know about the stream. I'm going to just mute the microphone for a second and wipe sweat off me. Just going to take the headset off. We got a cool question in chat from Zen Figment saying, "Hey X, speaking of genies and bottles, Oppenheimer has reignited a discussion in my community about the responsibility of scientists when bringing paradigm-shifting technology into the world. Same for AI. Thoughts?" Yeah, I think there's this idea that exists with a lot of this stuff of like hiding it, whatever it is, like the atomic bomb or whatever. But ooh, that does not look right, does it? That looks really funky. Our track record with technology is just like, it's always once the cat's out of the bag, right? So I think the approach is for people to try and just be as responsible as possible and think in terms of solutions. Obviously, like, you want to think about what are the potential problems, but what I don't think is helpful is like being extreme about a problem and sort of like, you know, I can't quite think of the right words, but here's an example. There's this group in the UK called Just Stop Oil, and the name alone just like immediately turns me off, because I don't think, like, am I supposed to take that literally? Because if we just stopped oil, imagine you snap your fingers and you take away all the oil. Do you know what happens to society tomorrow? It collapses. Like, all the infrastructure will fall apart. So it seems to me really unhelpful to put your time and energy into disrupting people with a message like that. I am all for people like sort of going out there in the world and, you know, activism basically. I feel like when it comes to activism, if you've got the drive and the passion to do it, most of the time, like, what's fueling it is got to be genuine on some level. I don't think people are that stupid. I think the people who are doing Just Stop Oil are like motivated probably for all the right reasons, right? But this end result of Just Stop Oil doesn't make any sense. And I wonder if they think about it that way, because I remember when I was younger and more naive, you know, when we would talk about the environment and stuff, it was like, oh yeah, capitalism, man, we need to just stop using all this rubbish, and why can't we just go back out to how it used to be? Which is, like, if you actually go back 100 years in time, your quality of life is greatly diminished, and there's more death and disease and things that can go wrong, and yada yada yada. I could bang on about that. Panian says, no offense, but I think you severely underestimate how illogical people can be when it comes to their beliefs. Not at all. Not at all, because you use two words there. Logic and belief. And the thing that I keep going over in my mind over and over again is realizing how when I think I'm being logical about something, I am probably having my emotions first and using logic to arrive at that conclusion. And I think that's probably what 99+% of humans do. So, like, what is the answer to that? It's compassion, right? Like, it's realizing that we do all have emotions. So again, like these Just Stop Oil people, I think they're motivated for the right reasons. You know, it's just maybe the information to get to the better conclusions just isn't there. So like when I see people being an activist and doing things, like, I can't help but feel like there's got to be some truth in there. There's got to be something that makes sense about it, even if maybe you disagree with it on the surface. I find it, I don't know. You know, the world isn't black and white. It's full of greys, and so when people are doing stuff that seems illogical, chances are they've just got like a different sort of information available to them, a different information diet, or something along those lines. So yeah, I'm all for, to go back to that original question, I'm all for like just trying to like up the responsibility and come up with solutions, I guess, like to think in that direction. So like with these Just Stop Oil people, I can't help but feel it's like like, your time could be better spent, like, trying to find action that does make a difference, because the action they're taking, like, if they get what they want, it's not really what you want, you know? Activists suck at marketing. Defund the police. Yeah, defund the police got me as well. Like, I was informed that, okay, this might not mean literally just stop funding police, but like, let's change how we fund them or move the money around or stuff. But again, the slogan is just terrible. It's just terrible. And I think it comes perhaps a little bit from extreme thinking of like seeing bad examples of police that get recorded on camera and then not having like the data to proportion it, like to understand that you can go online and you can watch videos of cops beating up people who seem innocent of crime, you know, all day long, because those videos are there and they exist. But you don't take them in proportion to the amount of times that, you know, just good, decent policing is being done alongside that stuff. So we have like warped perspectives of things, and you know, and then if you do get your hands on statistical data, statistics can, you know, they can be useful, but they are a bias of their own creation, so to speak, you know. They make you look at things in particular ways. But defund literally means to remove funds from them, which is the goal. Not all the funds, which is probably what people think it meant. Yeah, that's what I thought it meant. But it's just a misunderstanding. And the other thing is, like, because it's condensed into some little slogan like defund, that doesn't sound like a great idea to me. Like, as if just removing money would solve something. It's like, I don't know. It sounds like I would need to hear a more complicated strategy and plan, like something with points and time horizons and a list of different variables and considerations. Like, the answers are always like so much more complex and take our time to be really invested in than these like short slogans. And so, you know, again, does Just Eat Oil actually have a proposal? Just eat. Just stop oil. Just eat oil, everyone. That'll solve the problem. Just eat it. You get what I'm saying, though, right? Remove an appropriate amount of money from the police just doesn't work as well on the protest line, says another JT. It doesn't. No, it doesn't. And that's like one of the problems, right? There's one of the fuzzy little areas we have in our society where things are tricky. You know, we need to take more time to get deeper into topics and stuff that we have opinions on. And it feels like the modern environment, it offers you that. You can get your 3-hour podcasts on how to get a good night of sleep, you know, and then obviously political deep dives and whatnot if that's your thing. But then you also got Twitter, where you can just blurt out that thing that popped into your head a second ago. There's like less friction, and out of that emerges, I guess, more stupidity, because if you wanted to get a message out, like a really coherent message out in the past, this might mean you got to write a book, and books take a lot of time, and they give you a lot of time to think things over. Whereas today, it's like tweets come out, and a huge deal is made over these tweets. Like, we treat them like they're, you know, so, like, in BBC News article, so-and-so tweeted this today. You know, Elon Musk said so-and-so on Twitter. He might have been on the toilet when he tweeted that. You know, he might have forgot that he tweeted it 2 seconds later. That's the level of, like, quality that social media can encourage. It's just this sort of, like, fart whatever comes out of your brain into the ether. And that friction list, you know, it's always a double-edged sword with the technology. You've got this incredible platform to reach people with, you know, really thoughtful, meaningful ideas, and then you can also just tweet that silly idea that popped into your head a second ago, or that slam dunk on that other group or whatever, you know. It's also about just stop subsidizing oil and start subsidizing green technologies. The balance is completely off right now, says Anna Miles. Yeah, I think it's important to be optimistic about our future, but probably better to be optimistic if you're actively out there, like, involved in making a difference. Like, I think it's important to have a, like, proactive approach to this stuff. And yeah, you know, like, if I were to be quite objective, it really does feel like we are struggling to make that transition, right? We need to be going at a faster pace. A friend of mine shared an article just the other day, just yesterday, I think, and it fascinated me because they're proposing using, what do we call them? I'm moving my hands in front of my head to like, if I had a webcam pointed at me, you'd see me like painting the shape of the object with my hand. I know that sail is one word for it, but it's not sails as we traditionally know. It's like parachutes, right? What do they call that when you attach it to a boat? Anyway, they're proposing that the shipping containers, the really massive ones, kites, parasails, I think they're called parasails. They're proposing attaching parasails to these shipping containers to use wind to help pull them along and reduce the amount of oil that they're using. That is a great idea, but like it seems like maybe a bit of a step backwards, but then like we used to harness the Earth's energy to move things around. So like I like the idea of thinking like that, like just finding places. Like we need to find lots of little places. We need to attack the problem at so many different angles. We got the legend, the one, the only Cybot2419 here for 14 months. Thank you for all you do, my dude. Coming in with the waffle emotes. Hopefully that means you're enjoying it. Thank you so much, my dude. Going back to our roots, I guess, as Kent pronounced your name. Not so much going back to our roots because we can't really undo a lot of what we've done. You know, there's this idealistic idea of like, oh, we should all go back to living off the land, and it's like that doesn't work with 6 billion people. Like industrialization and people living together in cities, it creates efficiency at scale that, you know, you just can't live the old way anymore for everyone. Yeah, we kind of have to keep going in this direction. We've just got to change the energy equation, I guess. So like introducing parasails, kind of a great idea, you know, like it seems like one of those like low resource cost things to attach to a shipping container if it can be deployed. It sounds like something that could be deployed relatively easily. Like maybe you don't even have to modify the shipping container that much, and then I don't know how much percentage of oil consumption that's going to reduce, but we need to make all of those efforts on all fronts. And it got me thinking about how like, what about like horse and cart? You know, that used to be the primary mode of transport, then along came the motor car. Like there could be places where maybe there's like mundane, routine little transport journeys, and if you've got horses nearby, may it be possible to sort of switch and set up what you need just to cart some materials? Maybe it's like you got some lazy towns, lazy sleepy countryside places out there, and this one truck goes around delivering a few things to the residents, like, you know, sleepy roads. Maybe horse and cart works there. It's probably a bad idea when you try and like figure it out, but you know, there are probably lots of little things all over the place where if we just knew better and we could do something a little different, we could make that impact. And we need to make loads of them on all fronts. We need to, you know, kind of attack it from all angles. Horses, the answer is bicycles, says Joda. Yeah, use your bike more. I have hardly used my car this summer. I'm really stoked, and I potentially need to go to a UPS drop-off point tomorrow because I got my Hermitcraft cards delivered to me. So today I took extra care to get everything I needed to do so that tomorrow I had a big chunk of free time to sit down and sign those cards. And I can't drop it off at my local post office, so I have an excuse to jump on my e-bike and take it down, yeah, to the UPS drop-off point, which I love. It's not about doing one thing 100% better, but more 100 things 1% better, says Demiguys. Yeah, that's the way. That's the way. Oh, your poor signing hand, says another JT. Honestly, I am not looking forward to it. Like, I want to do it for all of y'all as a way to say thank you in a different way than just saying it. But like, it's gonna hurt. Like, I know it's gonna hurt. And the thing that I'm most worried about is that when I write, you know, XISUMA, I'll think about it, I'll say it to myself, I'll visualize it, but my hand will do different things. Like, my hand will just start writing the wrong letter or start writing in a different part. It's really frustrating. I've had it for the longest time. Just you know, I'm writing and all of a sudden the letters just swap themselves around, and it's like I'm really trying to tell my hand just one letter at a time. This letter, that one. You know how you think through what you're writing. Have you practiced? Says Malfredson. Yeah, of course. Like, I've tried. Like, generally when I write, I try and do this with a lot of stuff. I try and get this thought in my head of like trying to do your best. So every time you approach something, try and do it your best way. You know, like right now, you know, I'm going to say we're having a waffle, we're talking about opinions, I'm going to try and do my best. I'm going to try and be compassionate and understand other points of view and put out what I think is, you know, good or whatever. Like, always trying to do your best. Are you cleaning the house? Don't half-arse it. Do a good job. You know, I'm lifting weights. I'm going for a run. I'm going to do it all right. I'm going to try and focus and concentrate and make sure, you know, technique and posture is all good. And so, like, when I have the opportunity to write, if I can get that thought in my head, you know, I'll look at it like, just try and do this good. Try and do this right. And yeah, it still happens. It's god awful. It just feels like there's like wires that cross in my head, and I just don't know how to control that. And so my favourite thing would be to get a totally screwed up one, says Irish Pancake. I hope people can embrace that, because I can sit here now and say it to all of y'all, and then it feels fine. It feels like, hey, if I goof one up, y'all have it, and you'll be like, I understand. You know, but it's like the people that I don't reach, the people that don't know, that's what concerns me. Like, you know, this goofed up Xisuma signature. It's like, did he even try? Like, that's what concerns me. So I'm going to, yeah, go for it and try and do my best. Another JT says, I suggest you set a timer while signing cards to remind you to take breaks. I've already planned to do that, basically. Like I'm gonna do it in like 5-minute bursts. I think it's like a little bit of a warm up, put on the timer, just do your best for 5 minutes, then go take a break. I would pay extra for a messed up signature, says Theoist. Oh god. Simon Derpsuma. I am just gonna write a Suma. I'm gonna try and write it in the style of the logo I've had on my channel for the longest time. And find some good hand stretches, says another JT. That's another thing that I'll do. I'll stretch up like I do for playing guitar. People who ordered your card will probably cut you a lot of slack, X. They know you. Don't worry about it too much. I hope so. I hope so. It's just that one person. You know, like, there'll be people that are buying the whole set and they're part of, you know, the Hermitcraft community, but maybe like a different group of hermits that they are invested in or whatever, right? And, you know, they get the whole set and it's like, oh, this Xisuma guy just like, what's that? It looks like a child did it. You know? And I did want to do the stamp. I thought the stamp would be my way to, like, you know, I could put a cool design on it, and you know I've stamped it, but people really didn't like that. And I can understand that. As an admin of Hermitcraft, I'm curious, has Doc's frequent use of chunk loaders caused any quirks when managing the server? Nah, not really. The days of, like, you know, having trouble with running the server are kind of behind us. Feels like there's been a ton of optimization and things have, like, really caught up over the last few years. This season's probably been one of the easier seasons, pretty much, to look after the server. X, out of curiosity, would you think the signed cards would be the same if you used a tool like AI to mass sign them for you? If I had a machine that I could program to sign a signature, I think, like, it's one of those things where, like, as long as you know, right? Like, as long as you know that's the way I did it, because you still have to put yourself into it at some level. You know, I have to craft this thing that's gonna do the signing, right? You know that behind that is, like, X did all this stuff to come up with a design and get the machine to print it and whatnot. Like, as long as you know that's how you got it, then that's fine, I think. It's like a lot of stuff. I think a lot of things that might seem a little off or controversial, or I don't know. I really think that, like, the participants' knowledge is a key component of that. Like, it can really stem a lot of the potential negativity if you're just informed. So, like, let's say you're signing up on Creo cards, and instead of, like, signed by X, it says stamped by X. Then, like, what's the harm? Like, you know, it's your choice then. That's the way I think things should be done. People should be informed. Would you use AI to sign all the cards, but you have to physically tie your hand to the machine, so you would still be signing it? That sounds amazing. Like having a load of little mechanical hands just like directing my own hand. And I'd probably still find a way. Like I'd probably have like a little derp spasm and like mess up signatures anyway. Oh, I'm glad I reminded myself. I don't want to place any more blocks after this row right here. I was kind of umming and ahhing about placing this one to begin with, so no more after this one. By the way, I was just wondering if we should edit like the replay on stream, but we should have a look at the replay together, because I'm going to use this in the video. I just don't know how yet, but like we can look at it and figure it out. I'm impressed that this only took like an hour and 20 minutes we're looking at for this. That's pretty good, I think. That makes me confident. I wrote down how many blocks this was. Now, not all the other blocks I'm going to place are going to be as swift as placing this stuff, but it's not going to be far off. I'm kind of confident that I could probably chalk a lot of the rest of the game into chunks of time now, which is really curious, actually. Really curious that I can do that. And then I can put a time horizon on like start to end. Oh man, that's really curious, because once I've filled up this thing with blocks, then all I have to do is like explain the game through, I don't know, lecterns or whatever. Like I need to create like a coherent way to explain the game once it's set up, because the game can rely on your knowledge of Minecraft, right? Like, you know, did you know you can that flint that you got and that iron there, you can make flint and steel. That's a weapon. Like, it's not always a thing that every player remembers. So I kind of want, I don't want to spell out the entirety of what you can do, but I want to make sure that players understand that what they get inside of this box is like to be used, and I want to hint them at like, you know, remember that this can be used for that, essentially, right? I want them to be relatively well informed, so that the battle becomes about their wits when it comes to using those things, as opposed to like just not knowing. Do you know how far along Tango is? Says Zach. Oh, it's back to the beginning. I accidentally pruned decked out, so and we don't have a backup, so he's got to start again at the moment. Just tell them anything goes then, says Lucaro. Well, anything goes is not one of the rules, because you're not allowed to break the obsidian. So that needs to be communicated. Can't forget that. That would be a bummer if I forgot that one. I can only imagine how Tango would react to that. I mean, he flew over here and punched me in the face this morning and then took a plane back, so... You know, overreaction, Tango. Didn't need to get on a plane, mate. Could have just rang me up. Jeez. I'm not sure if I read the last noise in the air, by the way. 12-hour half day, 10 minutes ago. Thank you so much. I got a feeling I missed that one, so apologies again. Deep in the waffles. I'm pretty sure Efo would be upset with you too. Someone else punched me in the face today. I just didn't recognise them and they didn't say anything. That could have been Efo, you know. Maybe that was Efo. God, getting punched in the face twice in one day, you know. What were the odds, I was thinking? It makes sense now. That second person could have been Efo. Right, that's done. Therefore, camera account needs to log off. Buzz off, camera account. Then I need to put down torches, really. Just torches. Ah, now. Haven't done this on stream before, but I added... Right, I'm not going to use my keyboard. I'm going to use my iPad. There is light. Let there be light. Beautiful. And then I can go back to my stream buttons. Excellent. I've been adding... I've been changing my mini HUD. Let's use the thing. Okay, so I don't have to think. it says options. I press options, up comes this. Yeah, so I've configured my hotkeys now to match what I can input through Stream Deck. So you notice how it's this left control, right control? If it's a different mod, it will be like left shift, right shift or something like that. So like, there's this unique combination here, and it speaks to this mod. So they've all been hooked up with their own like keys, right? So slime, well that one doesn't show up. Biome, FPS, TPS, pitch, coordinates, right? And then don't want any of those anymore, just press the button. Pretty cool, right? I feel like did I have one up there before? Did I have chords on or something? I don't know. Anyway, pretty cool way of doing it, right? Just take the time to set that up one day, and then it just becomes like really useful over and over again. The next thing I need to do is to automate ChatGPT to do that for me, right? I need to cut out the middleman, i.e. me. I need to automate that away. I need to be like, ChatGPT, I don't want to... Okay, let's come back to number 3, I think it was here. So if I go and put it on number 3 each time, yeah, then it's all safe. Yeah, now I just need to automate ChatGPT and get it to, like, create all of those hotkeys. I mean, technically, like, if I were a better coder, you could possibly use the config file of the mod itself to just like automatically assign all the things and then like pull it out and put it into the API of Stream Deck. I don't know. Like, automation is incredible, but you need some know-how with it. I just love that I've got that, because now whenever I want to do these things, I'm not going into menus trying to remember hotkeys. It's just now a button on a device, which is awesome. Just make an AI Xisuma. I mean, you want to just automate more and more of your life, right? Like, take out the grind. Get those grindy things done. Like today, I had to paste 100... Well, I didn't have to paste. I had to type 128 commands into Minecraft for a video, right? I've been working on. Now, because of spreadsheets and a little bit of know-how, I realized that I could actually basically automate all of the commands that I needed, right? So I used the spreadsheet to create all those commands for me, and then all I had to do was like copy paste. The next bit, I didn't really know a way to do that, like to get the spreadsheet to like one by one put the commands in the game. If I had a bit more know-how and I knew how to do that, then that could have been a very helpful thing, but I did not know. Beautiful. Oh, I've left some obsidian behind apparently. Go pick it up. But yeah, like thinking like that is really great, because you just save yourself a lot of time, right? You know, and time is our most precious of commodity. Commodity? Do we call it that? Resource? Are you worried about the top edge being spawnable? I'm actually not, but I probably should. Yeah, I will need torches up the top too, basically, won't I? Should we take care of that now? Yeah, if I think it'll be okay. I think I'll come over here when it's daytime anyway to start work. No, actually, no, now that I think about it, it's probably a good idea. See, that's my old reflex to pressing the keyboard, whereas actually I need to start using the hotkey over here. Okay, so we'll do this one too. Oh yeah, Angry Canine, I totally checked out Axiom and it was absolutely amazing. Like, that is the most awesome game-changing mod. And it's made by someone who used to be a part of the XPD community, which was a really nice little surprise. I found out today. Yeah, that mod, oh, beautiful. Like, it's really funny because recently I've been thinking about like how WorldEdit doesn't have a GUI, which seems kind of insane. And I was trying to work with a mod developer to create that GUI on top of WorldEdit, and now that whole thing goes totally out the window. But it really got me in the space of like thinking about how when you do things, again, kind of ties into this automation that we just talked about a moment ago, you know, doing things smart. Like, there's these repetitive little tasks that you do with WorldEdit that are just maybe not very intuitive or could be smarter, and like, can you build ways to make this more intuitive? And when I saw that mod, it was just like, oh my god, this is just like top level design. Like the people making it have really thought this stuff through, and I was just totally stoked and impressed. Thought it was great, basically. And that is an absolute game-changing mod. That is probably going to be the most hyped mod you'll see for a while. I personally like can't wait to get stuck in and start using it, but I need a project to work on. I'm not one for like doing a lot of building at the moment. I've really just not had the building buzz as of late. I'm hoping it will come back, because then I can get stuck into it with that mod, basically. That'll be a great way to get back into some building. Let's now find coal and sticks. There is sticks in one of these. I'm not sure why they're there, actually. Probably because I used a potion and just put something in as a placeholder. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I am sweating again. I need to mute. Gonna mute for a second. I'm worried that this headset that I brought is going to get like really smelly because of all the sweat. Like, it just seems to up the amount of sweat that you have. The previous one that I had, like, they hung off your ears and they didn't like put any pressure on your head, so there was no sort of like attachment to the sweat. Whereas now these ones just seem to soak it up. They love it. They're like, give me all that sweat. Lucid Dreams says, Axiom is so cool, I just had a look. Whoa. Yeah, whoa, literally, right? Like, the thing that's crazy about it, it's like Blender in Minecraft. But, like, Minecraft is still running. Like, I was messing around with it, and the sheep were just, like, wandering around while I was changing the terrain. Then you just hit a button, and it's like you go from Blender, and you're still in the game. It, like, not only is it, like, a really awesomely designed mod, it seems to be really well optimized as well. At least my experience with it. You know, I hadn't used it for a long time or anything, but it just seemed to do right. Okay, that was definitely a worthwhile idea. Let me go ahead and turn off that and turn off the rendering. And then come back to our stream. Excellent, excellent. Just in time as well, it's night time. So, we'll head back to the base. Drop off the obsidian. I need to repair my wings at all. No, we're good. And then maybe edit the replay or something. You should just use some speakers, says John Boy Slayer. Then you would hear, like, the sound of the game and my voice and other stuff coming back into... Oh yeah, this is a thing I gotta do. Coming back into the... Like, into the stream audio that you're listening to. It would degrade the quality of the stream greatly to do that. And I actually have speakers on right now, and I can hit a button and they would just, like, you know, you'd hear stuff, but I'm gonna do that. Dang, that thing is just no good. Needed way more cactus farm to power that. Alright, let's find the empty ones first. As you can see, I need to do a sort again. It's just been dropping stuff off for a while. There's a lot of stuff here that like isn't very sortable either is a problem. Okay then. Might help to move that stuff out there. And that one was rockets. And the rest of them. Cool, we're going to basically condense this stuff now. Seems like I put most of the full ones together as it goes. Oh, we'll try and keep that trend going. So all of that is full, just the middle one next. Seems I put maybe the empty ones out first then. There we go. Okay, Okay, there we go. So those 3 are full. This, no, not that one. Cool. So actually, 1, 2, 3. Did I use 3 shulker boxes? Is that the total amount that I used? Let me grab a calculator. I'll grab a calculator here. I know I got my math wrong with the 150 shulker boxes, but that is, I'm sure, less. So 64 times 27 times 3. We've placed 5,000 blocks. That's about half. That doesn't make sense. My maths with this project has probably been all over the place. Let's check out. You can't see it, but I'm just checking some notes. Going to that document. Oh, 6,600 is the total amount of obsidian. My previous calculation might have also been wrong, putting it at 9,000. So actually, that seems just about right. Curl says 150 shulker boxes of obsidian versus 3 shulker boxes. That's a huge difference. Now you understand, like, the magnitude of the double derp, right? Just this nonsense that is me. And I already had 1 and a bit lying around. What I could have done, instead of messing with all the stuff in the end dimension, is probably just AFK'd at the piglin farm for about 2 days and had everything. Had I properly calculated. But oh my god, I made some... It's just a hilarious Hermitcraft story. Now look, if anyone wants Obsidian, you know, they can have at it. Alright? Just remember, if you're watching a Hermit stream and they're like, oh, I need to go get some Obsidian, you need to be like, no, you need to take Obsidian from X. Okay? He wants you to have it. Because there is just a redonkulous amount of it here. Right? Like, who's ever going to use all of this? I thought I wasn't even scratching the surface. It was so... Do you know what I think it was, right? Like, I think... there was this failure to... First, there's this failure to be like, okay, that's an insane amount. But I think, like, quite quickly, I just sort of dived into that, oh no, sort of feeling, right? And I was like, I really want to do this. So I'm going to bang it out. I'm going to make it work. And it wasn't until, like, later on that I started to just think over those numbers again. I was just like... The number that I wrote down, I was in the sauna, and I was just like, the number that I wrote down was 9,100. And then I was like, it's more like 10,000 that I need for this project, right? Because the shape of the... I think I made the shape... Yeah, I made the thing bigger as well. So I think even my initial calculations were off somehow a little bit. But anyway. And then I just started to do the numbers a bit. I was like, well... Hang on, 640 is like 10 stacks, and if you double that, you're over 1,000. So that's 20 stacks, and 27 stacks goes in 1 shulker box. So I'm thinking, even if you roll the numbers a little mean, it's not even 10 shulker boxes, right? And then I started to feel pretty confident that I got it wrong, and I came on the server, did the math, and I was just like, oh my god, what is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? Why do I make these stupid mistakes over and over again? God, I'm such an idiot. A sauna. What? You have a sauna? Says Mustavarish. Yep, I got a home... I got a home sauna at the beginning of the year. And honestly, one of the best investments I've ever made. Like... Regular sauna use just loosens me up, gives me that, like, faster recovery from training. I've basically had no injuries, and my knees have gotten better since I've been doing the sauna. I can't tell you the last time I had a pain in my knee, right? I got a little bit of a pain in my foot today from running. I think I had to rush because I had a delivery this morning, and I didn't warm up properly enough, so I've hurt my foot a bit, which rules out having a run on Saturday. I'm going to just take the weekend off, you know, play it safe. The sauna is amazing for recovery. Foxy No Tail, thank you ever so much for bringing your peeps over. Thank you for the raid. Welcome, everyone. We have just finished placing over 5,000 obsidian blocks for a mega project. And I've been telling everyone how much of an idiot I am for miscalculating and thinking that I needed 150 boxes of obsidian, which just doesn't make sense. And I think knowing that I'm an idiot and that I make mistakes made me jump into it like, there's one of those mistakes you've made again, X. You actually need 150 shulker boxes, you idiot. Whereas not realizing that the 150 shulker boxes was the mistake. Whatever. It happens, right? Yeah. The Finnish side of X is Blue Shade. Yeah, Finland are known for their saunas. Look, I went on a skiing holiday and like you get like my legs used to get like pretty knackered day after day, which I love, by the way. Like I love the burn and like putting your body through it. But like it gave me the recovery. It was like I woke up, we'd go in every day, and I woke up and I was just like, oh, hang on, I've got like the juice to go again. You know? Like my body feels great. And yeah, now I can run like 3 times a week. 4. 3 times, sometimes I've been in 4. I've been running on Sundays a bit, trying to get my resting heart rate down at the moment. And I work out 3 times a week, and like I just recover each time. It's like it helps so much with all of that. Now, anyway, I'm gonna stop raving about it. If you are into training, if you do athletic, physical stuff, or maybe even if you like work a hard job like carpentry or working on a building site, like if you can invest in a at-home sauna, like it will pay you back dividends in your health. Well, let's break it down a little more. This is actually individual. I should point that out. We all respond differently to different things, right? You should perhaps try get to your local gym, use the sauna or the swimming pool, wherever you can get to one locally, and just find out what it does for your body. And I think you'll probably notice it pretty quickly. If you go in it a few times a day, you might notice, oh, I'm more like loosened up and I don't feel as rough or whatever. But yeah, I'm totally into it. Do you own shares in saunas? Nope, I do not own any shares. Cold plunge plus sauna, amazing results. Yeah, I like to on occasion do the sauna and like get out and get in the cold shower and back in kind of thing. But when I was at the place, the ski resort, like they had it all set up so that you could like really properly do that kind of stuff, and it was really good for you. Fixator says, I've been traveling for 5 months, so much Hermitcraft to catch up on. It's been almost intimidating. Goodness me. Yeah, a lot has happened, my dude. A lot has happened. For me, with the catch up, the main thing to know is that I'm changing my attitude towards Hermitcraft. I am no longer putting myself on the make an episode treadmill. They will just come out whenever and ever they're ready. Like, I think the one that I'm currently working on won't be out for at least 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month. And I'm fine with that. I just want to have fun. I just want to focus on having fun. Jay Gary, thank you so much for resubscribing. 11 months. Almost a year indeed. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Fixator says, good mindset. It really is. I've been really trying to work on that, Trying to work on getting my thoughts to be kind to themselves and to make the right decisions. Stop putting that pressure on yourself all the time. It's the content brain. I've gotten so sick of it. Jay Harvey is here with some cheers and biddies saying, have a great stream, X. Time to go to work. Thank you, my dude. Thanks for supporting the channel. Hope you have a good time at work, doing whatever you're doing. Yeah, like even when I was waffling earlier about all these different topics, there's still this voice in the back of my head that's like, this could be a clip. It could go viral. And it's just like, shut up. Not doing that anymore. Sick of it. Sick of it. That's probably not the right button. I think I have to press this button. Then I need to see the preview. Yep, you are looking at the right screen now. Excellent, excellent. Let's grab this. Go in here. Let's load that up. But yeah, it's been a thing. It's, I've been a content creator for a long time, and the brain has just sort of gone wild with this create content mindset. And I just got to get away from it, Like I've been doing my music, and I just spend like hours goofing around, not really getting anywhere. Just I'm in this stage of getting to grips with stuff, but like even the stuff I write, I'm just having fun and doing what I want to do, and like just ditching that idea of like, oh, this could, you know, be a song and put it in a video and yada yada yada. And it's like I've let go of all of that, and I just enjoy myself and my time so much more at the moment. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling on about that. So I don't know quite what this is going to look like, and long ones tend to be like really tricky to edit because it's slow to do the replay stuff. But let's start relatively simple. I think we're going to look at just, yeah, like putting a timestamp after 40 seconds, 75 minutes and 45 seconds. We'll put that to 44 so it doesn't clip over. And then as for the camera path, we know we kind of go in that direction and this direction. If we put the thing up above, so you've got like a static image, the way the world's loaded is kind of interesting. Maybe we'll mess around with that for a second. Like sometimes you can use your video editing to like get at what you're doing. So you create an image, but then when you're using the video file of like this replay mod, I'll be like cropping and panning and stuff like that. Like sometimes you can do it that way around. So if I do this, create like a little globe right here, I could possibly do something with that. Could always do like a multi-angle or cut up the things that you create a bunch of times too. Now I don't know if that's going to play, but this is what it would look like. That's surprisingly performant right there. I like the way you see the sun go around. Kind of feels like if you didn't have the time skip, that would be a little nicer to look at, really. Also, we go over the land on the left, like way more than I thought we would. I was trying to align this thing so that it didn't go over land, but it seems like that's not been the case. Then after that first bit, this becomes kind of pointless because you don't really see what I'm doing. So I think I'm going to ditch that view. It was an interesting one, but I don't think that works really. Let's go back down into the world. Sun going down on the east side. Oh no. Well, if I spun the camera around, would that fix it, I think? See, another thing that's kind of cool to do is to get close to the action as well, but on these long ones, it's really difficult to like properly follow yourself around. I feel like it's probably going to be best to find a shot that's just like, I'll say like, hey, it took me an hour and 15 minutes to place all of these blocks. Bam, and that's the whole time lapse, right? Like that could be kind of cool if it was just like super duper fast, and you just like throw the information at them. So then you can get away with just like a light edit. I don't see a way to make this particularly fancy or interesting, basically. Is kind of what I'm getting at. Maybe what about if we go up here? I feel like the view from this side isn't particularly interesting. Maybe that view wasn't so bad. What do you think, peeps? Maybe I can like do a split thing and have a double view. That shulker box is like literally the middle, so up we go. Now we won't render all of it on this one because, or maybe I will. Because once you built the first bit, the rest of the time lapse becomes a little bit redundant. So what I want to think is that I'm probably going to slice this so it fits into half of the video frame. So I would need to move like a fair bit further away to make sure I can make that edit. So that will become like half of the screen now. I think I'm going to go a little bit further just to be on the safe side. Maybe a little bit further still. Also, that kind of messes with where the daylight, where you see the daylight-night cycle. Okay, so now let's set our camera angles, but we're going to modify this time over here, I think. Actually, I want them to sync up. Well, maybe I'll transition. I think I'll do a transition shot. Okay, so in which case I know that we can probably reduce the time here. So I'm going to just put that back to like 55, there we go, and cut this somewhere. I mean, the sentence I'm going to say is about 15 seconds long tops. It's going to be like, so I placed 5,000 obsidian blocks in 75 minutes, and bam, now we got this. Right, then you go into the next bit. So in which case we can render that. Now, I'm rendering on stream, so it'll be slower than usual. Sometimes these things go a little faster than you expect. I'm never too sure what the things that impact the rendering is. Like, is it the amount of time, or is it like the amount of events or blocks being broken and placed? I'm never too sure, so anyway, that seems pretty good. Sorrel the Soul, thank you so much for 41 months, almost 4 years. Kind of surprised. Hey, time, it just flies by, doesn't it? Flies by. Curl says, I love the editor behind the scenes commentary. Would like to see more of that. Yeah, it'd be cool to find a way to do it. The problem is it can get a little too meta when you're then trying to edit that. Like, if I picture trying to edit my timelines when I'm editing, it just feels like it get out of place pretty quick. But also, like, looking at editing software, it's like, it's surprisingly like noisy and not so great to look at from the outside, is my impression. Maybe that's Vegas. Maybe it could have a nicer like interface. But yeah, I've toyed with that idea of doing that, and it doesn't always look so good. Anyway, right, we're gonna change. Let's see. We're gonna transition somewhere around here. Just not sure where. We're being raided again. Joel Duggan, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome all the raiders on a Thursday evening. There's no Hermitcraft meeting, so we're streaming. Joel, thank you so much for the raid, my dude, and welcome all the raiders. It's been one heck of a stream working on this absolute mega project, or the beginning of it. I'm really pleased actually with how quickly that came together. It seems like I have jumped to the absolute perfect place. I'm about to start doing the next bit. So we need to remove the time keyframe and add that, and then we need to modify this one to be 7544 again, which it already is. Just need to change to 7. Yeah, we're doing some behind the scenes editing of everything we did into today's stream. Now, if you remember, I said that we wanted to use like half the screen. What we're looking at here would fit into half of a screen pretty well. Want to line it up in a sort of satisfying way, and then maybe, no, that doesn't feel straight on. Here's a thing that you can do. So if I remove and replace, you can double click, and then one of these, I think it's that one, camera yaw, is how straight you're facing. So you can like tighten it up. Yeah, it nudged me over like a fraction when I right clicked it. So then you can right click it, you know. So if you wanted to add a roll, for example, let's add a roll of 20. Uh-oh. You know what I mean? Uh-oh. Jeez, no thanks. And put it back. I don't think a roll makes any sense here. Like, when you got a dramatic action shot, a roll's pretty good. But we're dealing with like this awkward, built over a big distance, big block of one color. Like, it's just not going to look that great. So we're just trying to find like 2 interesting angles. Oh yeah, and I'm no longer doing the half screen thing because I'm going to transition from one to the next. I've kind of goofed on that one. Either way, let's do a preview of what it looks like first. Oh, I haven't actually finished building the platform. That's great. For some reason, I'm now... Okay, there it goes. We'll have to do all this again. Don't take a break. Keep placing blocks. Lazy. I'm watching you. Oh my god. We're just replaying. It's the stream again, but it's 8 times faster. There it is. There it is. Stop. Right. Change that. Where are we at now? We're at about 41. 4110. Let's change that to 40 and save it. Now we've got to redo our camera angle because it turns out that build's a little bigger than that. Okay, I think there is good. And that's supposed to be 270. Peeps, if you're enjoying the stream, be sure to hit the follow button over here on Twitch. I'm streaming again tomorrow evening. And that's it, actually. You can check my schedule. I'll be streaming a little earlier tomorrow than I am today. Going to be playing some Vault Hunters. Probably just going to be doing the vaults again. I was looking, for those of you that watch the series, I was looking at the Cagerium prices, and then I kind of realised, like, I can just about scrape together one cage, but you can't pick and choose the mob. Once you put one in it, you're stuck with it. And so I'm kind of feeling like I'm not sure what farms I should be building at this point, because we're still trying to, like, progress through the Vault Hunters stuff. So yeah, it just gave me this weird impression as I looked into it. It kind of feels like maybe we're not supposed to be doing that stuff right now. Black Opal is very pricey, says Based Operus. Yeah, I'm just feeling this, like, a little bit of a disconnect between the Minecraft world and farming and that aspect of things and what you actually need in the vaults, because to progress through the vaults, you don't really need anything Minecrafty. You need to do the vault hunting stuff, right? But then, oh yeah, we need to preview this. But then the issue is, oh look, it's a little too soon. Those Minecraft farms. Okay, this actually looks pretty alright. It's going to be way quicker than the speed it's currently going at. Okay, I'm going to pause that then, come back here, modify this. Yeah, I guess the point that I'm trying to land on is that it doesn't feel like what you do in the Minecraft farm department really matters for the vault hunting department. It's just the vault altar that, like, throws something at you. See, Mummy says the vault altar can help you decide what to farm. Yeah, I guess if something came up that was like, maybe it asked for a stack of wither skeleton skulls, then I'd be like, okay, we need Cagerium, right? That's probably the use case for it. I'm kind of expecting an experience that maybe isn't there, where there's more of the Minecraft world stuff to go along with the vault stuff, I guess. Why is the camera angle now up here? That doesn't make any sense. That was really weird that it pushed it back there. That looks like it's good. I'm going to go ahead and just render that. And then both of those should be ready for later on, basically. It gets into the 10Ks for some items, says Woozer. Well, there you go. When we get to that level, it will make more sense. But here's my question for you, Woozer. When you need 10K of one item, how much black opal are you getting on a run? Right? Like, at that point, are you like, you've got all the gear and the vaults are different, you're getting maybe like 100 black opal on a run or something? Because the amount I'm getting at the moment, I know it's slowly increased with time. It just feels like, I don't know, like there isn't synergy there. Jex Adox says me, jealous how fast this renders while streaming. Hey, I got a supercomputer, you know? I was going to make a joke about, like, it, you know, it can fly a rocket to the moon, but like they went to the moon with computer technology that, like, the phone in your pocket can do 1,000,000 times over a second. That's how crazy powerful things we got. Cool, I'm happy with both of those. They'll probably do well. I didn't look at the preview, but I'm pretty sure they'll turn out good. Those are some nice, just easy, static sort of things. Death Star Trench Run Elytra course, says Woozer. That sounds interesting. I'd like to see that. Maybe run a couple of votes where you focus on ore POI rooms and not objectives or chests. We've done that too. And that's a way to get opal, right? But my point is just the synergy isn't quite there. Maybe I just need to keep playing until the demand for it becomes a bit more obvious, right? Perhaps something like that. We can actually close this. You should now be seeing my other Minecraft, which you are. That is terrific. Sweet. So at this point in time, let's go down below. For the game that I'm creating, I've got most of what I need in a chest around here. Like, I need a lot of this stuff, and I've got most of it. Ironically, the thing that I don't have a lot of is melons. I kind of need melons and melon blocks. And maybe some other creative ideas. Oh my god, I totally forgot about hay bales. That is a source of food. Yes. That is perfect. Okay. That adds in... oh, how did I not get that? I spent a lot of time in creative mode, like looking at the food tab. And never once when I saw bread did I remember the hay bale. So this block is going to be part of the food progression. You're going to use gold and apples for golden apples. There's going to be hay bales for bread. And then the very first food to get you started will probably therefore be melons because they're blocks, right? The only thing is, I don't have melons and I don't have melon seeds. Has anyone built a ginormous melon farm this season of Hermitcraft? Because I do not need to make farms just for this project. Like, there's farms that I want to build that I think are going to be fun. I'm going to do them in the future. But, yeah. Chat, where are the melons? Darker Soccer asks what happened to the Bone Mage skin. I noticed it kind of disappeared after the Empire's story of the season. That was the end of the Bone Mage arc, I guess. Now it's just regular Doom guy again. There are a few melons in the bottom chest upper right. I'm actually going to leave that there, otherwise I'll forget. There's melon slices. Do those convert into melon seeds? Ah, yeah, of course they do. Cubs greens. Oh. Okay. Lucro says, since when has that been a thing? When has what been a thing? You know what I say, Lucro? We need that context, man. That context. Well, I got some cooked food lying around here. I got some more pork chops. I don't know if it shows up on your displays, but Sauna has donated 120 through Hyperchat. That does not display on my screen. I don't know what a Hyperchat is. What is a Hyperchat? I don't even know where to look. Like, there's nothing on my screens that mentions a Hyperchat. Where do I see? Well, look at your stream chat. My stream chat does not have a Hyperchat on it. From the send me a screenshot, girls, of what you're seeing. Because I can't see anything. Yeah, that is not a thing that I see. What does that mean? I mean, I think it means I've got to say thanks, right? Someone's throwing some euros my way or something. Appreciate it. Thank you. Doesn't appear to be a message with it. This is just a new thing. Oh, right. Lucro's message below is like, what on earth is that? Twitch have added something, and I don't know how to see it. But thank you nonetheless, my dude. Mods, I might need your help pointing that out to me until it's like officially supported or something. Yeah, let's go check Cubs greens. I've got some diamonds in here, don't I? I've got some diamonds in another chest somewhere as well, or box, should I say. The hyper chat has ended as it was only a short one. It ends? Dude, like, Twitch need to communicate things. Yeah, there you go. I knew I had some diamonds. Let's go spend some diamonds. First appearance was the 22nd of June. Oh, right, okay. Well, I have no idea, no clue. Fish Rendery says, hello, Xisuma. Hello. Hello to you. Welcome to the stream. Soundwave Hope says, this is confusing me so much. Story of my life. What? I'm always confused. This is a hype chat. €6 pins it for 2 minutes 30 seconds. It works exactly like YouTube Super Chat for streams. I barely know what YouTube Super Chat is other than knowing that it's a thing. So, there you go. Weird. Okay. Cubs greens. I mean, melons are indeed green, aren't they? Who else is on right now? Just a couple of AFK hermits. What do y'all think about the render distance with Bobby and the fog, the way I got it set up? I love it, but what it needs to do is it needs to blend builds into the background like that right now. This doesn't work. I feel like if the fog could just match directly what's behind where you're looking from, then it'd be really beautiful. Cub fan! I love you! I love you, Cub fan. Thank you. I will come again soon, I will. 2 stacks is more than enough. I think. Yeah, I think 2 stacks is going to be good. 2 stacks is going to be good. Okay, that was cool. I don't know if there's any other materials here I need to grab. Why don't we just have a look at what's on sale? as things like sugar. I could put. You could use it to make paper, but I don't think that becomes useful in my game. My game revolves around the vanilla tech tree, so you're kind of like using existing ideas. Riffraff is now hyper chatting. Riffraff, thank you for hyping the chat with your hyper chat that Twitch have added that I can't see. Thank you for your $170. Is that how it works? That's crazy. X is scamming Cub. Oh, did I do the numbers the wrong way? Go look, let's go look. It was 1 for 30. Was I picking up 2 for 1 for 32? So 2 diamonds for a stack. Yes, you're absolutely right. I just switched it up in my head, basically. I gave myself a discount. And Xisuma math, like, for the stories you've heard today about me and maths, you know that was genuine, right? You know it. Oh, you ain't got a doubt in your mind. You ain't got a doubt in your mind. One of the other things that I could have used was leaves to get apples. I still could technically go for that. Although, does a placed by a player leaf block drop an apple? And what is the rate? Because I think the rate is pretty... I'm going to look it up on the wiki. Wikipedia? Not Wikipedia. Minecraft wiki. I'm coming your way. I'm going to type in apple. I think that would be the quickest way to get to it. Like, it's going to have something about leaves. Or maybe it won't. Obtaining. Leaves. Yeah, I got to go to the leaves article. Oh, wait. No, it said it there. 0.5. That is not good for my game. That means 200 give you 1 apple. And then even if you got fortune, it's pretty rotten. So no. I will absolutely rule out the idea of using that. So in my game, like, it's all made with blocks, but I'm going to put shulker boxes in that have, like, a couple of items that will really, like, benefit the game to have there, so. X, read 4Gill's message. You should be able to see it within your activity feed. We mods can see it there at least. Yeah, I don't have anything in my activity feed since Joel's raid. So, I don't know what that's about. Is this new? Oh, this is the TCG swap. I haven't done this. That makes me realise that the cards that I gave in Grian's... No. We gave Grian a new card, right? Like, I've got old cards that need to be basically redone. But because I don't play with them, I haven't brought them over here. Right. Old cards at the bottom, new cards at the top. You might not even be able to see the difference, but I know what the difference is. The difference is magic. Is that all of the cards? Rare Xisuma. Isn't there like a common as well? There's got to be more to this place. Is there an upstairs? Rare hermit cards. Am I being an idiot, or is like, it feels to me like there isn't enough cards here. Shop only has the cards that needs updating, says Casperus. No, every card can be. Well, maybe. Okay. So the new system works for every card, but maybe Beef's doing it so that only the ones he's changed. We should have really done it for every card all at once, because if he comes back and changes like a common scar, then you have to do this again. I don't know though. But anyway, we got that set up for him, so he can modify. So basically, I don't know if Beef explained it, but the old cards are static. The new cards are dynamic, meaning, right, this bit of text here, you know, branch mine, flip a coin, it's now dynamic. So if we change the resource pack, it can say, derp mine, don't flip a coin, bang your head on a wall. And then everyone's card will see that text. So you can update the resource pack and update the text on the cards. You can't do that with the old cards. You can do it with the new ones because they're dynamic. They translate from a source. So it seems like what Beef's done is just... Hey, this is the wrong way around. Just changed the new cards, or sorry, just change the cards that have a change. If ever he needs to change another card again, then you have to get everyone to go over there. I would have opted to just do it all at once, like get everyone to trade every card, but that's the way it's been done, so I was a little confused. I expected to see every single card there. Oh, yeah, I got some diamond blocks from Joe. Oh! And some more diamonds. Hey, do you know what I haven't done in a while? I have not been on here checking up on my shops because I just, you know, I just kind of like changed my attitude towards playing on here, I guess. And therefore have forgotten about some of my routine activities. So we have the Bone Mage shop. That will have bones up there. What other shops do we have? I think it's just the one in Impulses, right? This is so cool. I love that we finally finished this build off. Beautiful. Beautiful build. Okay. Look at this. Why do I look at that and just feel like... Oh, maybe I forgot to wax the blocks and they're supposed to be orange. It just looks so odd to me. I think the bones are up top. Oh. Oh! Sweet profits! Hallelujah! Not sure if I got bones stashed up here, but look, I've got that. Did not have the foresight for the bones, did I? Profit, profit. X is a rich man. Apparently at the moment I am. Bone Mage needs to get back to business. I won't need to farm bones for quite some time if I'm not actively using them myself. Because I do indeed have a stock. I should make a note just to let peeps know that that's been replenished. It's always a very popular shop, the bone meal one. Bone restock for my post-stream stuff, activities, whatever. All these fully stocked, right, so I should probably actually just leave those there. The Bone Mage has retired. Are you technically grave robbing? There's no grave robbing going on here. I'm just taking those bones and putting them in a chest. Does sound a little bit like grave robbing. Bone meal is the currency on my server, says Fushiro. Interesting. It really could be a currency. It really could, because it's so useful. You need it all the time. But I think if you made it the de facto currency, I think more people would be incentivized to build their own farms. So then would it like devalue? Oh, that's interesting. Hey, isn't 4 my floor? Have people been going to my shop still? It, like, if it incentivized everyone to make a farm, a bone meal farm, then I can kind of picture it like devaluing. Like the usefulness, because then everyone's got their bone meal that they would otherwise buy. I don't know, it's a weird one. Bone meal inflation, yeah. Well, it looks like we're still fully stocked over here. How do I see where my profits are? Oh my god! People have been using it and I didn't even know. Look at those diamonds. Now to see my profits over here, you just open the chest, but we need to go into... Oh my god! I'm going to have to make a list. I am going to have to make a list, and we're going to have to restock, I guess. It can be done. It can be done. Right, don't tell anyone, but that's how we get out the back here. Okay, that's top secret. It's top secret, peeps. As is everything else you're about to see. Alright, let's have a little checkaroo. Okay, that's the diamond I leave in the middle. Okay, so glass bottles. 2 lots of that. This is where I need to just like be able to yoink them straight out the shulker box. I would love that. That would be an amazing feature. Okay, 1 gets left in the middle, remember. I don't even know what that one is, but luckily the layout of this tells me. If I can get to it. Okay, so bottles go here. That was string. Someone really needed some string. Go back over there, do a little restock. This is how you make money on a server, peeps. Provide a service. Provide a service. Be a pillar of the community. Okay, I think I emptied that and took it out. Yeah, that makes sense. I'll just leave that there. Cool. That's one bunch of restocking done. Let's go do the next one. At some point here, we're going to run low on some materials. Right, loads of that stuff. No one wants shulker shells or copper. Ah, are you surprised? Wow, that made a load of diamonds. Are you surprised? I'm not surprised. So ink, glow ink, those are always money makers. Oh my god, what was this one at the end here? Okay, we're going to suffer on the copper blocks. I can't remember the last time I used David Copperfield. It might be wise of me to implore the other hermits just to use that themselves now. Didn't I put... Oh yeah, there it is. I put both of these here. Okay, so... Let's do that first. I probably need to empty my inventory a bit more here. Oh, just enough. How perfect. It's a pretty like fun little restocking system. I mean, I'm not going to say it's great, but like it's quirky and I like it. Then we want that one. Then put them back in the correct spots is important. My god, I can't believe how many diamonds we've made here. Where'd I get that from? I feel like that might have popped off of something important. Dang. Maybe you got some ready farmed copper below David Copperfield still. Oh, there'll be some down there because I've been using my item sorter, but it's more of a case of, you know, just haven't been actively harvesting, right? So I think we had 3 stacks of this. Cool, cool. And I think quartz was the one at the end that was completely sold out. And that's the last of the restocking there. We can totally restock that. I actually got a load more of this stuff because I've been using the piglin farm. So quartz has been restocked. I should probably write down the ones that were sold out, like string, quartz, ink sac. Well, that wasn't completely, but you might as well list them. Glow ink. What else did I sell out, peeps? Just the best items, really. Aged copper. Oh, yeah, but I can't restock it. Okay, so, yeah, fully aged copper. Uh-huh. Can't restock it. I mean, I've probably got some somewhere, but you know, that's that. Okay, that's that one. Then we want to head down. I should probably bring these with me. Oh, what's that there? Another empty one, I see. My official way down is here, apparently. Next shop to be restocked. Hey, wait a minute. We got tips. We got tips in the middle. Another one. Beautiful. These hermits not understand how... What? Oh, this is the pay what you want section. This is the pay what you want section. That's amazing. Someone really liked those. That's great. So 4 lots of the corn and then fill that one back up, which is easy peasy for me because I've got loads of both of these. I love that. I love that the shops are getting use. Like, I haven't been, you know, as much making episodes like I normally do, but it's like cool to know that the shops are like useful for hermits. So on the list goes frog lamps, I guess. Just remind peeps that they're here. Right, then they go back into here. That one's there, this one's over there. Sweet, very good. That is incorrect. Now that's over there, isn't it? Anyway, do that, and then go to the last shop. It's a really nice little system. Hey, hey, hey. Oh my god. Oh my god. Sea lanterns as well. Hermits are generous. Ooh. Leather is popular. Obsidian. I could put this in the box system now. I've got so much obsidian. Jeez. Oh, I don't actually have any with me. The irony. I got the leather though. So I need to go back to get... Right, I need to make a separate list of like aged copper and obsidian. I like the two I need to go and fish. And by fish, I mean not fishing. That'll stack that up. Leather's obviously a popular one. Put that on the list. And then we'll say prismarines are stocked up too, even if they're... Well, there's still some for sale, right? So prismarine, sea lanterns, and dark prismarine. I've only got that. And you know what? I'm probably not going to bother restocking these now. Maybe in a future Hermitcraft stream when we have some downtime, we'll go do a proper stock up on those, because that means going all the way to the Guardian farm and then doing a bunch of stuff there. But gives me a good old excuse to stream more Hermitcraft, right? I'm going to be doing more Hermitcraft because of the mega project, and then we can chip away at little things like that as well. So total diamond profits are looking pretty lush, wouldn't you say? I like those numerals. Yeah. We earned that today. That's cool. Did you upload a 1.20 full release vid? I don't know what you mean by that. But 1.20's been out for a while. I mean, go to my channel and you can see the videos I've uploaded. Simon's on the diamond block Joe left you. Ah, well remembered, chat. Well remembered. That's brilliant. A video showcasing all the 1.20 features. I have not done that. Might do those again in the future. The thing is, I show it all off like over the course of the snapshots. So I kind of want to think about a way to do it that like hits an angle, like a different approach to just like ringing off all the changes. Because with my new approach to Hermitcraft, I'll have time to do things like that if I want to. But I want to make videos that just feel right. And whenever it comes to doing the summary of all the stuff in the snapshots when I've already covered it, it just, I don't know, it feels like a lot of repeating myself. So I tend to shy away from doing it. But anyway, heaps, if you enjoyed today's stream, be sure to hit the follow button over here on Twitch. This is where I'm going to wrap today's one up. And I'll be streaming again tomorrow, as I mentioned. So, you know, come back tomorrow. Check out some modded Minecraft, some Vault Hunters. As of right now, though, I'm going to find a channel for you to go and enjoy. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who subscribed, resubscribed, donated, and cheered. I appreciate all of your support, of course. And thanks to the mods, the patrons, and the people gifting subs. I'm going to send you over to Linksy today, who's streaming some Minecraft. Send you over there. Well, that's it from me. Take care, everyone. Have a good evening. Bye.